Hello, BAIO family. I hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We got a good live stream for you this Sunday. We're gonna be talking about Ibram X Kendi and the scam that he's been up to. So once again, we're going to be talking about Ibram X Kendi and the current scam that he's been doing with this anti-racist institution. We got a lot for you on that, and really, really breaking it down for you so you guys can understand and how this proves us right. I'm gonna wait a few minutes to let more people get into the chat. Once more people get into the chat, I will go further in depth. I also want to say a huge shout out to all the subscribers. Please continue to subscribe. We've officially made it to 2,000 subscribers. Let's get to 5,000. Let's get to 10,000. Let's continue to post more content. And I hope you guys are enjoying this. Make sure you give us a comment down below. Tell us what you think. Do you enjoy this content? What more content do you want us to cover? And we'll answer accordingly. So once again, thank you to all the subscribers, especially in the last couple of months. We've really seen a drastic increase in our subscribers. So I just want to say thank you to that. The BIL really appreciates what you guys are doing. You guys are what drives us, what's going to power us and allow us to do our project. So I just want to say once again, thank you guys so much. If you're going to come on, I'm going to put the StreamYard link in as well. And when I put that StreamYard link in, for people who want to come in later on in the show, they will be able to come in. So, again, I'm going to give a few minutes. We got 7 people in the chat right now. And we're going to expose who Ibram X Kendi really is. All right, y'all. So we are going to be talking about Ibram X Kendi. Now, for those who are unaware or who are not familiar with Ibram X Kendi is somebody who works for Boston University. He's the author of the books such as How to Be an Anti-Racist, How to Raise an Anti-Racist, Anti-Racist Baby, Stampede from the Beginning. This is who Ibram X Kendi is. He's basically trying to promote, how people can be anti-racist in America, so to speak. And now recently he's under investigation. And the reason why he's under investigation is because he had been given millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. We're not talking about just 1 or 2 million. We're talking about upwards to up to $43 million for his anti-racist institution. In July 2020, he founded the Center for Anti-Racist Research at Boston University, and he served as the director. And in 2020, he was considered to be Time's 100 most influential. So let me show you a picture of who Ibram X Kendi is, so you guys can see. Now, once I show the face, he's going to be relatively fairly familiar. So this is a picture of Ibram X Kendi, and so this is who Ibram X Kendi is. Again, he's very familiar. These are some of the books that he's written. So again, Anti-Racist Baby, How to Be an Anti-Racist, How to Raise an Anti-Racist, Stampede. These are some of the books that he's wrote, and a lot of these books have become bestsellers. And a lot of people bought his books. Oh, I thought I shared the thing. So let me show you his books. A lot of people bought his books, and a lot of people thought, it was during George Floyd. Of course, George Floyd happened in 2020. It caused nation international outrage. A lot of people wanted to see a substantial change. They wanted to see the system change. A lot of people wanted to know how they could contribute, how they could change, systemic racism. So that's how he really emerged on the scene. That's how he basically wrote his books, and how he became really well known is after the George Floyd situation. Um, Again, so now he's under investigation because, again, he was raising tens of millions of dollars, for up towards the $43 million, and he squandered that money. Now they don't know where the money is. They don't know how what was done with the money. And allegedly, I want to say allegedly until it's proven, but allegedly that's what's being alleged about him, is that they gave him all this money and he hasn't delivered results. He had an anti-racist institution, like I said, and they were supposed to track systemic racism, and they just didn't do that. They've been laying off workers. He has received a ton of money from wealthy donors. He's basically been a mainstream media darling, to put it nicely. And that's who he is. I mean, I've seen him on MSNBC, seen him on Good Morning America. We have seen this man more often than not. He has a huge following. He has hundreds of thousands of people on social media. And so, for him to be under investigation for how he's running his anti-racist institution and how he was given upwards to $43 million. Again, I want to emphasize $43 million. And to squander that money, to lay off workers, to say you were going to track, systemic racism, and for that not to happen really is troubling. But again, it's not surprising to a certain degree, because we've seen this over and over and over again from a lot of these so-called black intellectuals. I say so-called black intellectuals because they're not really black intellectuals. They're really not trying to theorize and sort of come up with ways for black liberation in the form of self-determination and black autonomy. Their so-called black intellectualism is rooted in integration, is rooted in assimilation, is rooted in the desire to want to integrate into the broader American society. That's really what it is. There's no ideal of self-determination, of independence, of autonomy. That's just not there. And I would put Ibram X Kendi in the same category as Black Lives Matter and their co-founders, Elisa Goza. You have people like, I would say, Nicole Hayter Jones. I would also put them in the category of those likes. Cornel West. That's who I would. Well, Cornel West, I would say, is a little bit more radical in comparison to Ibram X Kendi, much in terms of where they stand on the system. But they're all rooted in these intellectuals are rooted in the desire to integrate into American society. And that needs to be clear cut so people understand where they understand Ta-Nehisi Coates. We can add him in as well. Um, Henry Louis Gates, who's done tremendous work, same thing. These are what these black so-called black intellectuals are. We don't have that black intellectual class that's rooted in black self-determination, black nationalism. It's not rooted there anymore. You don't have your James Theodore Holly, your Henry McNeil Turners, your your Crusoe Robertsons. You I think that's his name. I think I'm butchering the name, but for Crusoe Robertson. But you don't have these black intellectual titans. Your Sterling Stuckies, your John Bracey's, we don't have those intellectual titans anymore. And so as a result, because the fact that we don't have these intellectual titans anymore, we don't have these these intellectuals who are rooted in the black experience, who are rooted in black self-determination, who are rooted in black autonomy. Because we don't have those people anymore, this is what is put up in front of mainstream black society. And oftentimes these people are celebrity. They're celebrities. They're famous. That's really what they are. Nicole Hannah Jones, celebrity. And don't get me wrong, get your bag, make your money. I have no problem with you, being well known for work, but it's the type of work that you're known for to me that is a problem and is a concern. The 1619 project. I haven't read the 1619 project. I mean, I would guess that the 1619 project has a lot of factual information, but to me, what the 1619 project is rooted in to me is problematic. Again, it's rooted in this idea of inclusion, of acceptance, and not really of self determination. Ta-Nehisi Coates, I would put in that same category. He did his great reparations case, which again, for its time, during the time of 2013, 2014, when reparations wasn't a huge role in terms of discussion. Um, he brought a lot of factual information, but again, it's rooted in that American integration. So with people like them, we just need to just take a step back and watch their demise. We saw, I mean, that there's nothing else I can really elaborate and say. I mean, that's all I can really say about this situation. You were given millions of dollars. You said you were going to conquer racism, and you didn't do it. And I'm going to put you on the hot seat, Ibram X Kendi, Nicole Hannah Jones, Ta-Nehisi Coates, because y'all are so-called black intellectuals. Y'all are the so-called black intellectual titans. Y'all are supposed to know better. Supposed to, but should, and well, suppose and should versus no. But you get the gist. You get the gist. We just have to be. This is yet another example of when when fame takes over. When you get all the attention, the money, the fame, this is what happens. Vic, that's why I said they're the so-called. In my eyes, they're not actual intellectuals. They're the so-called black intellectuals. I mean, they make money. I mean, they're great with notoriety. But that's all. That's all. That's all there is to it. Actual substantial change and a disruption of the status quo and our current position, that's not there. Getting black people to a position of self determination, that's not in their lexicon. It's going on MSNBC. It's giving lectures at universities. That's what it's rooted in. Self determination is not their focus, not their center, and at their heart. That's I mean, I wish it wasn't like this, but that's what it is. It is what it is. We just have to. Again, I'm just sitting back and I'm watching this. I also I also want to say this is also the reason why. This is also the reason why what DeWoo said last Sunday was right. This is why so many black people lose hope. This is why so many black people drop out of the movement. Because of people like Ibram X Kendi. Y'all say y'all gonna do this. We raise you millions of dollars and you don't deliver. That's why a lot of black people drop out. Is why, for me, whenever I see black mainstream media pundits, I get suspect. When I see a lot of black people on MSNBC, uh, ABC, I get a little suspect, especially if they're talking about politics. If they're on those newscasts, talk about sports, talk about you know science, technology, I have no problem with that. But when it comes to politics, I do have a little bit of concern, and I do look at them suspect. Because let's not forget, he was getting tons of money from wealthy donors. Again, wealthy donors, elites. Remember that. I've always been suspect of Ibram X Kendi. I've always been. I've always had a problem with his worldview. I've always ever since he came on the spot in 2020. I've always been wary of him. Found his ideology a little bit problematic, and well, that wariness was not without reason, not without doubt, and we see why. I read an excellent book by Dr. Ibram Kendi, Stampy from the beginning. He is also an HBCU grad family. Regardless of the hot water or the anti-racist convolution, the book was scholarly. I'm not, like I said, they do a lot of great work. I'm not here to say that their work is not scholarly. It's just the framework, the ideological lens to which they're looking for is what I have a problem. Not the content, really. Well, some of it, but overall, I'm not really concerned about the substance or the content in it as much as it is the ideological framework. Um, it's the same way, Baruti. I was reading a book called Against the Wind, African American anti-colonization, basically African American opposition to the ACS, and the book was very informative. But to me, the book was rooted in a very black northern perspective. Whenever I read it, it was primarily black people in the north they were talking about. And so that's the framework. The evidence, the research, the articles that they were citing from was great, fantastic. But again, it's the framework to which it's being structured around is what I didn't like about it, or to me was a concern to be addressed with. I wish there were more people in, but I understand this was a spare of the moment. LOL at Intellectual Titans. It's the Crybaby Hustle. Yep, another conscious community crash dummy indeed. This is fire. Thank you, Michael. He says, this makes our people hate black coffee. Shout out to Holla. Yeah, it's the truth. I mean, it's why our people hate are reluctant to work with black people or do black projects, hate black involvement, because it's constantly we know what the problem is, but we don't deliver. We know the issue, we know the problem, and yet we're not delivering. We really can't be mad. I mean, you really can't be mad at the average black person. Can you really be mad at the average black person? I mean, we were discussing last week. I mean, you can't be mad at the average black person. This is why, the BAIO was created. This is why we're doing what we're doing in Liberia. This is why I'm going to Liberia in December. There's a reason why I'm speaking to so many county associations. There's a reason why we've started a program. There's a reason why we've done this stuff, because we are filling the gap that these so-called black intellectuals should be filling. We're doing what we're doing because we see that these people are not giving the black community anything substantial in terms of power, control, autonomy, and influence. That's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why we do the education. That's why we do information about Liberia, because they're not doing it, or information about African American communities abroad. They're not doing it. They're not talking about it. We're doing what we're doing because we are confident we have a solution and we can present it to the average Black American, the average African American. And most importantly, we're not asking for money unless we're confident. We got everything sorted out. We have our goals, we have our plans. That's what makes us exceptional. We want people to contribute, but we want to make sure your money is put into the right causes and are confident we know where your money's being put at. We're not going to just tell you to donate to us and we not tell you what it is, not give you a breakdown of why we're doing it. a breakdown of what everything is going to cost, when it's supposed to be done, we're not going to ask you to donate unless all of that criteria has been met. I mean, we got stuff in the works. When we get that flushed out and everything has been put in place, everything has been itemized, then go ahead. Then we'll be proud for your donation. The Ibram X Kendi is a reason why, unless they are fully transparent, they're open about what their goals and intentions are. This is why people like Ibram X Kendi need to be avoided. This is why people like Ibram X Kendi I have a problem with. This is why. Why the black community? Why so much damage is done to the black community? Why so many black people don't trust black intellectuals? Why so many black people look at black people who work at universities as suspects, as sellouts to a certain degree? Again, do I think Ibram S. Kendi? Well, I can't even say he has good intentions. I don't know what his intentions are now. I was gonna say he has good intentions. I don't know what his intentions are. You were given tens of millions of dollars and you squandered it. That tens of millions of dollars could have been used to build infrastructure. That could have been used for education. That could have been used for business ties on the continent of Africa and Liberia. There's so much money in $43 million. There's so many assets you can get with $43 million. And you squandered it. And that to me is why I gotta put you on blast. It's why I've had to say what I had to say about you. And why I'm not shocked, but at the same time, it's like, of course. The only thing I would say is I should have known it would have happened sooner than later. Anyway, y'all, that's my gist. If you wanna come on and give your opinion on Ibram S. Kendi, the investigation, Boston University, him firing his laying off staff, him being sort of the darling of mainstream media, you are free to come on. I'll give about 2 or 3 minutes if people want to come in, they can come in. All right, y'all. If that is going to be, if there's nobody that wants to come on and give their opinion, I would just like to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys for doing what you guys have been doing in terms of sharing our content, getting our content out there. Again, we've made it to 2,000 subscribers. We've gained over 700 followers just in the last month. Let's see if we can increase that to 1,000 a month, 2,000, 3,000. Let us become the place of black news. Let us become the place of black advancement. Let us become the place of black organization. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And again, sign up to the website at blafricstan.org/register. Y'all have a good weekend, and I will speak to y'all again in the next video.